You're okay.
It was nice hearing you scrape
Did
your
you like
shirt
that?
with that.
Little shoulder scrape? I know. I've seen how you look at me.
Well, your lats are so big. No, traps.
Check out these latissimus dorsi. Who's that imitation of? Get a load of these. Get a load of these lat. Look at these deltoids. Look at these latissimus dorsi.
Who is that? Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. I don't think that's the same organ that he was most known for, but, tomato. Are you thinking Ron Burgundy?
I am. Thank you.
I was thinking of Jesse the Body Ventura in mine. He would, when he was being interviewed by Mean Gene Okerlund, he would say, check out these lateral deltoids, Gene. I think he would just call him Gene or Mean Gene, but yeah.
Did Ron Burgundy steal that? The
out
deltoid or...
I don't think so. Boy, I tell you what, two of my favorite people, I think of that's a tough link to make, but speaking of links, I have a link coming up here. Excuse me. I know some people say it looks like a patty, but it's a link. It just, sometimes there's sometimes 13 to 14 and a half of those links in a bag of sausages. I'm talking about breakfast sausage now.
Oh, I thought you were like solid. Mod Squad link.
Well, I am solid. Thank you for that inference. Yeah, Link was a cool guy. I don't think Link got enough lines. Though.
I don't remember the other two's names.
Julie, Link, but whatever he was the guy played by Peter Fonda, I believe. Yes. Mm. What? If there was a way, I'm sorry, we're away. By the way, I heard the spelling bee guy. I heard the kid spell it live, and it was the source that I heard it from said it was like better than the World Series. How this kid conducted himself, because apparently he botched a word or he DQ'd himself on a word.
Yeah,
before.
He said, "I'm out. Ring the bell."
Did he really?
Yeah,
but they gave him another chance.
Well, the other two missed their words, and then his came up, and he won on that one.
Yeah, and unless the thing was edited, he legit just took it and ran. He didn't do the whole use it in a sentence, origin, all that shit. I heard that he heard the word, say it again, and then just nailed it.
The judges were trying to slow him down.
Oh, for real? Did he? But so did I hear right? Okay, so
he did rush through it.
There was Pete, there was Link, and Julie.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know why I thought it was Peter Fonda, but it was the character was Michael Cole, was Pete, Clarence Williams the third, and then Peggy Lipton. Do you know that when I do that, I don't do it like most people. I do that using my uvula. I can't roll my R's. So typically when people make like the noise of a cat, they can like purr, like they use the tip of their tongue. I don't say burrito like normally. I have to go burrito, and it's my like uvula.
I don't.
Uvula's getting a workout.
So it's not your tongue.
Apparently my tongue is not as...
Oh, it is.
Limber. Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Well, I guess we all know how I got the job, but now I'm... Also, that guy got a little beating, too. Hey! The Ascertainers.
There you go. Let's do an intro. Oh my goodness.
Okay. I only have one thing to say to you, Mark. And you know what that is? That is that Mark and Jim, a couple of seasoned Minnesota truth hunters, armed with mics and Midwestern charm, out on a Friday night doing the Lord's work, cutting through the noise, seeking clarity and delivering the goods, with just the right blend of dad joke energy and unfiltered honesty. Whether it's deep thoughts or dumb tangents, if the Ascertainers are talking, somebody's getting ascertained. Now the only question is, what are we ascertaining tonight?
I thought the Mike Lindahl.
Chris
Lindahl, thank you. You
Mike
put your arms out like
Mike
that.
Mike Lindell. Fucking Mike Lindell guy. That guy lied to me.
They're both Minnesotans.
He made a better pillow than the one he guaranteed me. Chris Lindahl.
And
Mike Lindell. I can literally hear when I shake my head that your headphones that make a sound.
I was trying to make a joke mashed or two.
Can I give you
names
one of my pet peeves?
Yes.
Because you remember the one I had before was Myriad, the word Myriad,
Mm-hmm.
and how much it's odd how much I hate when people misuse it and how much I just have wicked mad respect for people that use it. So the word Myriad, for those of you who have not joined us before, we are your OCD Myriad podcast so the word myriad basically means many. So when people say there are a myriad of ways, it makes me want to choke them. And I don't, so far, don't I mean, I want to make sure you still think the threat is there that I might, but a myriad of ways is grammatically askew for me. I don't like it. But when people say there are myriad ways that can be done, I get a little dizzy because of the rush of blood to the tip of my
nose.
Right. Yes. Something's got to feed this gin blossom. Anyway, so the other is when people say, oh, he's shaking his head yes. In my opinion, you shake your head. That means it's going from side to side. That means you mean no. You nod in approval.
So you're slamming yourself.
No, I am not. And it's still moving. What I was doing that for dramatic effect, Mark. You see, I went to the Community College of Rochester. That's why I'm not calling Rochester Community College because it makes it sound a little fancier, even though it's 13th and 14th grade. And then I finished up, if you know what I mean. I did that thing with my arm. Yes, the whole arm and a big grip. I finished up in Mankato where Adam Thielen went, thank you for the tissue. I'm going to need a shop towel for this one.
No, you don't.
Well, check your hair. What? Anyway, nodding and shaking. Those are the two bugaboos. You nod in approval, you shake in disapproval. Do you have thoughts on that? Because I can't wait to just fucking take you down like a...
I hear the lightning. That kind of the same way.
Oh, so
you're hearing
I'm
the
Jim.
thunder.
I'm the ascertainer. I take Mark's input and then it's like going into a computer. Hang on. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Oh, you do the best computer noise. Do the computer noise. Remember that one you did?
I don't.
Okay. We go kind of like this. Beep, boop, 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 boop. What Mark's trying to say is that sometimes people will say, did you hear that lightning? And you actually, I think,
You can.
May I implore that you hear thunder and you see lightning?
Exactly.
Some people will see thunder. Or is that seethe under?
Maybe if you're Thor.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
You wouldn't see
if
thunder.
You're Thor?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm super Thor. I went to the driving range without a glove. Hey, what's going on over there? So
here we are.
I have notes.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm the other half of the Ascertainers. My partner over here is Jim.
Mark is 3/5 of the Ascertainers, and I'm Jim. I'm the other part.
Who did the wonderful intro. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Well, let's thank ChatGPT for that. All I did was so for those that didn't listen to the last episode, for starters, what the fuck? Anyway, for seconders, go back and listen to it because I stumbled through this thing that I had written down. But then I entered most of that just by memory into ChatGPT, and it gave us that just wonderful. As a species, we're about dead. In fact, I think we probably have 4 or 5 episodes left of the Ascertainers before we can just touch a button. We can.
I don't think ChatGPT could do this poorly.
That's what I'm banking. That's what I'm banking on. Right? It would be like Chat, sorta. That's got to be a thing, right?
Can ChatGPT make fun of itself?
Only if we keep this up. We're the only hope. We're more like Chad GPT. You know, Chad, our neighbor? I think these are some of the thoughts he would have. Chad's a good guy.
Jim worked on some music for today, and I'd like to apologize to your son, Alex and Paul.
Oh, we have
I might put it on Facebook.
we are, well, this is the world we live in. So one of us, me, has a kid that is a musician, and I'd say a pretty dang good one, who is in the undiscovered stage, but still has been playing for many years, self-taught, all that. Has, I think it's approaching, if not exceeding, 100 songs available on the internet through either Bandcamp or Spotify or any of the other sources between the myriad bands that he's been involved in.
Sorry, Jim, it's a myriad.
I'm just waiting for my pulse to go down. This is going to take, it might take a while. Anyway, I asked my young liege if he would thrill us with an original piece of composition of music that we could play at the beginning of our podcast. And he acquiesced. Johnny Depp. Anyway, that'll be the first time you hear Johnny Depp's name tonight, not the last. So he was, at first he put something together in like just a little home studio kind of a thing, where like the drums are synthetic and the whatever, but it was him, like bass and guitar was him. And then he got the drummer from one of his latest projects, Fiji. By the way, do you know where Paul from Fiji is right now?
No.
Great Britain, playing music with this other band he's in called Gleamer.
Nice.
So, yeah, they went over there for 4 shows, so they must be getting a nice little check out of that. But anyway, so Alex and Paul from Fiji Band MN, if you're looking for them, did a live recording they recorded it with all instruments as opposed to anything synthetic. So we have that. So I'd heard all about this kind of AI music, and you can write a song and all this kind of bullshit. So I just kind of fed it some lyrics, really mostly to see how we could add value to our Newt's sponsorship. That's really what drove it. But I thought, okay, well, why don't I say a little bit about us, and then the second verse, and then a little catchy little chorus. And then I also threw in a couple of little things on just tidbits, like I put in kind of what I would have as song lyrics, trying to like 4 lines, trying to kind of make it in a song. Like it might have some kind of a like rhythmic whatever. And then I just hit create or generate, and it kicked out like 15 fucking songs, like a rap one and this one and that one. And I thought, wow, that's mind blowing. And then I thought about my kid who's been doing this like for 15 years. But I guess you can't see AI live, right? That's where, like, for those people that are like, oh, I'm just going to become AI famous. For starters, no one's going to fucking pay for that. It didn't cost you anything. I don't think anyone was going to pay for it. Second of all, you can't go on tour with AI music.
Just an enjoyable episode was when Paul and Alex were here live playing. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think the listening audience, you people,
You
enjoyed
people. What are you talking about, you people? Well, I mean, it's just, I think I'm overly sensitive because I have a person who's very close to me who I think, although I will say this, I think his expectations have always been very realistic, where it's like you have a couple of years after high school, you take all of your gap years and you hop in a van with your fellas and you play shows coast to coast. And I think he's been in close to 40 states playing music, and that's all great. And they have seen a lot, done a lot.
Those memories never go away.
Probably learned more on the road. But anyway, it's like, if you can look at someone and go, are you doing what you want to do? And they're like, yeah, I'm doing what I want to do. And it's like, okay, great. Oh, also, do you require me to fund doing what you want to do? Other than maybe some vehicles to get the band around and the maintenance of said vehicles, which are now they're not mine anymore. I admire the fact that kid's doing what he wants to do and balancing it out with making a living and all that kind of shit. And then, but I'm just curious, and probably I should ask him and not ask everyone listening to this, what they think of that whole AI thing. And I mean, maybe it helps them maybe tweak their songs a little better, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking game changer, good or bad.
I'd like to throw in my 2 cents, if that's okay.
Well, Mark, you see where the money goes right there in the old pot.
I don't know if I can throw in 2 cents because they're going to get rid of the penny.
Hey, we're not political, man.
For the young people listening, kids are the best. They're a lot of work, and they'll make you pull your hair out at times. But my God, in the end, it's just a wonderful feeling that you get from having kids.
Like the first part, or when you're raising them? I'm talking about the part where, then there's a kid like seconds later.
I was trying to do like a heartfelt moment, and you made it sexual.
Well, it depends on how long your wiener is, if it's going to be heartfelt or not. I mean, I don't think that's, I don't recommend either someone that's short or that long, if you know what I'm talking about. But I agree with you. I do agree with you. Sorry about...
You're terrible.
Sorry, they have escalators in the building. You're fine. You'll be able to walk soon in a week. But
it's trying to be serious for once on our podcast.
Well, that's what you get. Didn't you tell me today? This podcast gyrates between. No, it doesn't gyrate. It hold on. What is it called? Vacillates? Is that a thing, or is that a thing you put on your lips after you eat chili?
Oh, that's
Vaseline. It moves back and forth between oscillates. That's 8 sides. Anyway, we're worried about being too scripted and too stupid, and here we are. We're at that old crossroads again. So what about kids? You like them?
Anything more about that?
Used to say, kids, they grow up so slow, don't they? Because it's almost undiscernible. So, yes, kids are great. My youngest, I've turned really old because my youngest turned 30 last week. And that makes me, I had no problem being my current age, but to know that my youngest kid is now approaching middle age is yikes. But we went out, Big Al, theme music Al, and Sarah, my daughter-in-law. We had a little Mancini's din.
Very nice.
I don't know if you like Mancini. They do have walleye, but it's more of a steak shop. And very good. If you haven't been, if you're in Apple Valley, you're going to Newt's, and we'll talk about that in a half a beat. But if you're in St. Paul, go to Mancini's. Check them out. Pat, Nick, the place has been around, 50 years? I've been going there for about 40 of them, so it's probably more than 50 years. So if you've not been, it's good. Grilled bread. That's the thing. It's like, you used to just bring you a basket of bread, and it's like, well, why don't you go put that on the grill? So anyhow, but if you're in Apple Valley, what would you do if you were hungry in Apple Valley, Mark? Where would you go?
Hell, I'd go to Newt's.
Oh, there's go to hell. We already know that, so that was implied. So skip that part. Mark's going to hell because he's not a believer. Anyway, and before you go to hell, before they throw the switch, what's going to be your last meal?
Newt's.
Newt's. What is Newt's? I keep forgetting.
Your burger emporium.
Oh my God, Mark, you're really coming out of your shell. Newt's is Apple Valley's finest. Apple Valley, Minnesota, by the way. Their finest ice cold beer, fresh popcorn, hot juicy burger, and tonight, sporadically hot pull tab boxes.
Oh my God, we would have came out
You
even.
win some, you lose some.
Even. And
sometimes you just keep playing when you should have got out of the game. But and we did an experiment tonight. I'm so happy about this experiment. So Newt's has like 20 different kinds of burgers, and some of them are designed to be smash burgers. Usually they were just kind of the old school, half-pound patty. So some are designed to be smashed, but let's say you want to have like what I had tonight was the peanut butter bacon burger, which is so good. Add a piece of cheese, and that's a house tip that I was given. But you can order that smash. So instead of like one big burger, they give you 2 smashed patties. And I always felt bad for Mark because Mark is a non-meat eater. He is a pescatarian.
Wow.
I feel good that he can enjoy a burger there because they have a
Beyond Burger.
A Beyond Burger. And I always thought, well, you know what? What would happen if you smashed a Beyond Burger? And I always got laughed at. And tonight it was not as well. We went like late Saturday afternoon, long story. So it was not a normal Friday night. And I go, hey, can I get a Beyond Burger a la carte? No but, just give me a fucking smash one of those. Let me see what.
Or try to smash it.
And then it became the bartender. It was Beth tonight, Beth's growing on me. She's
fun.
Freaking awesome. I mean, she was always great. Sarah's obviously the irreplaceable. And Nikki, it was between Beth and Nikki's shift. Nikki's kind of OG to me, because Chris and I sometimes go during the week, and Nikki's a bartender who is more of a weeknight person. I don't know if you.
I had not met her before.
You not met her. Well, there you go. Well, that's kind of where I was going with that. But so when I asked Beth, I go, hey, I just want this one burger. I want a patty, fake meat patty. She heard me out like a pro. So anyhow, I put the order in, and it took forever. And it realized that actually I didn't actually put the order. I told a server, like one of the non-bartender servers, about it, and Beth was plugging our order stuff in. So it didn't get in. So I was like, oh my God, it must be a horrible experiment. The order finally is transmitted, received, and out comes Anna, who's a new runner, or new to us anyway. And she goes, here it is. Well, we ordered two. Do you want anything with that? I'm like, how about a pickle? So there's two little pickles, and then these two. It didn't look good. It was not visually appealing. But if you took two smashed patties and put them on a plate, it would just be about that same level of appeal, plus leaking like fat. This is a very dry two smashed patties. For some reason, I ordered two. I didn't argue. I just wanted to settle this.
Our friend Booze said it looked like hash browns on the plate. Which is
probably not terribly. I mean, it's hard to argue it wasn't. So, but again, the idea, the goal, the intended purpose was to. I know I feel like I'm doing the chicken dance over here. I'm squishing.
I was thinking the same thing.
Squishing the burger to make it a smash thing. I liked it. And I don't know what a regular Beyond patty, it tasted like school meatloaf is what I told Mark it tasted like. And the next time I go there, I want to see what it's like, because the edge, it didn't have the integrity of meat. Like when you smash meat, it kind of all stays together. So like the skirt is what they call it on a smash patty, especially the nerds. Smash patty nerds are worse than rush nerds. Who are worse than replacement nerds. If you are so into a band or a burger that you just like, you can't do that. Fuck you. Anyway, so.
Wow.
I'm just saying. So if I were to order this, Mark, all I'm thinking is how much I love a smashed patty, and that you can't get that because you eat Beyond patties. This is for you, Mark. Actually, kind of for me, out of my curiosity. But I'm like, oh, if you enjoy the burger, let me see if I can wreck it for you. That's the other part. But I'm going to get mine smashed. And what's going to happen is that the outside edges are going to crumble off, and they're going to be like, loose meat. That's a Midwestern thing. Like a sloppy Joe that's dry, they call that loose meat sandwich. But what's between the buns, what's contained between the buns, a little cheese to hold it together, a little sauce to hold it together. The
cheese will give it cohesion.
I think it's going to be a game changer for you, pal. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I'll give it a shot.
We got one step closer. There's only one step left, and that's to try it on a bun. Newt's. Your experimental burger leader. I feel like we're really going to promote Newt's because they've been our sponsor from the beginning. But I don't know if this was the best. They're willing to try Newt's. But we got fresh hot popcorn, ice cold beers, tremendous service. Service that would go the extra mile. May I? Yes, I did. And we won and then lost a pull tab. So that's not their fault.
No, definitely not.
We have impulse control. Hand me that Kleenex again. The box, not the one. I need the whole box this time.
Any errors and omissions?
Yeah. I said that when you brought up the Beach Boys and the Fat Boys, I thought the song was called The Stroll, but it's called The Rumble. The Rumble is a song and a documentary by a musician who I believe has some Native American roots called Link Ray. Link, like the sausage or like the sausage, Ray, W-R-A-Y. And it's called The Rumble. And it's in the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. On the last episode, so look at episode 114, there's a link to the song, The Rumble. And it's an instrumental. And it's kind of Dick Dale-ish, but kind of like psychedelic Dick Dale-ish. It's just, I think it's just got the most, like, kind of like you just feel like kind of hitting some. When you hear, it's very slow, but it's just got a lot of like impact.
The Wipeout from the Fat Boys and Beach Boys was from the Safaris, not Dick Dale.
Thank you. What was Dick Dale's big hit?
Boy, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe there's another Wipeout version because I know what you're talking about, and I don't think
what
that
I know about is like a real. So maybe there are two, but to me, I heard truth be told, even though I linked it to our last episode, I listened to like the beginning of it. But whatever the Wipeout song that I really know is that's a banger. It's the guy that goes in a high pitched voice, Wipeout, and then like a lot of drum. Do you know who sang the Surfin' Bird? You know the song Bird, 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 Bird is the word? That band is based in Apple Valley, Minnesota, called the Trashmen. Isn't that wild? As far from the beach as you can get. Apple Valley, Minnesota. Oh, home of Newts, by the way. Even though they weren't there, but the Trashmen were there.
Anything else?
Yeah. Nope. I got nothing. I was perfect. How about you?
I didn't do any errors and omissions.
Well, so you were perfect. We've been talking about
I'm less than perfect, but no, I didn't. So anyways, this week I was watching the Paul Rubens documentary.
Also known as
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
Tell me about Pee Wee Herman's thing.
You were mentioning something beforehand about how
Pee Wee makes me feel?
Yes.
I can honestly say, for all the stuff that guy went through that you kind of saw in the news, whatever, at the end of the day, when I watched Pee Wee Herman, I felt terrific.
Did you watch the documentary? Because
I haven't seen it yet. No, but I know that I have, like, back when they had newspapers, I know that there was I never knew Paul Rubens. All I knew was Pee Wee Herman and the Pee Wee's Playhouse, and then the Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure was first, then the Playhouse.
Well, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, I think there's so many great movies out there and everything else, but when you just look at a movie, what a fearless thing he did. Seriously, it's like, I'm this little sprite full of lilt, by the way. By the by, we've hit our lilt quota. I hope the lilt mafia gets off my ass pretty soon. But just the dumbest, like, he had so much confidence that people would laugh at that shit. And in my world, he was right. It just hit me right in the old funny bone, my friend.
Good one. He did Pee Wee's Playhouse with the Groundlings.
The Groundlings, also where Chris Farley came from, Tina Fey came from.
No.
What city? Chicago or L.A.?
L.A. And they were...
Groundlings were kind of like a poor man's Second City TV. And I believe that both of those people I mentioned came out of the Groundlings. But you disagree.
I guess I don't know because
they were a different era. That's all. Like Bill Murray came out of the Groundlings.
Okay. I guess I am wrong. The thing with your hands, he was doing like the levels of his hand. This is not a video.
This is Smash Burgers. This is Bill Murray to Tina Fey.
I wish
There's
people could...
a long way. It's like I'm climbing a rope. It's like I'm getting away from a bear. And that bear is named Mark. And he's very hairy, as we know from the other episode.
Just the lower half.
That's right. His top half is shorn. Genetically, he just is. How do you explain the eyebrows? That's from a movie called Fubar. If anyone can get their hands on Fubar, which is a Canadian mockumentary.
The thing I got from the documentary, since we're a music podcast, I wanted to bring up Phil Hartman because they were great friends at first. And Phil Hartman was on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
I didn't. Oh, was he like the milkman? Or
he was the sea captain.
The sea fairy? The seaman? You can say seaman.
I am not going to say that word.
Seaman. That's good seaman.
But anyways, Phil Hartman was a graphic artist. Okay. And he used to do classic rock albums covers. He did Poco, Legend. Is it Legends or Legend?
Poco? The band Poco? I thought Magic was one of their songs. You can do Magic? Is it a Poco?
It was the album.
Oh, okay.
The horse Now I'm doing the hand gestures.
Yeah. What's going on? The horse? Well, usually if I were to do the horse, I would just stand up and undo my fly. But you were doing a whole fucking thing with like you were trying to paint a wall or something.
But there's a lot of back and forth about how many albums he did. He takes credit for the CSN logo that they used during the 70s.
CNN or CSN?
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Okay. Fucking nerd. Why would I know what CSN is? Sorry, I'm offended that you thought I would know that. I'm actually mad at you. Oh, you mean CSN? Oh, yeah, CSN, the old country squire. We can't say that anymore.
I apologize.
That's okay. I have a lot of Groundling members. Do you want to keep talking about Phil Hartman, or do you want to hear all the Groundling?
No, I thought that was impressive. And I'm sure you're right about that.
So Pee Wee Herman gave Phil Hartman his start.
Phil Hartman was angry at Paul Rubens because he co-wrote The Big Adventure.
Phil did?
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense, but what was he upset with him?
Because when Phil Hartman got on Saturday Night Live, Paul Rubens and them kind of, I don't know, Paul Rubens didn't want to lose him for the Pee-wee's Playhouse.
So was there some envy involved where like, oh no, you're making it big and I'm back here?
Yes, and then Paul Rubens never gave him credit for most of the stuff that he wrote for Pee-wee's Playhouse also. He came up with a lot of the...
So he kind of wrote him out, or he discredited him? I'll say this. My life would be very different. This is a bold statement I'm about to make.
I thought you were doing some AI type.
It's one of AA. Hi, Jim. So...
thank you for... welcome, Jim.
Norm MacDonald. If it's called Alcoholics Anonymous, why do you start with telling them your name? God, I love Norm MacDonald. I swear. Sure, I'll just say it. I'll include Norm with Paul Rubens and Phil Hartman at the same time. My life would be noticeably different without Phil Hartman, Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens as played by, and Norm MacDonald. They have shaped their comedy, their ability to make me laugh, their weirdness and their range and everything else shaped me as an ascertainer and a human being. Pee Wee and Norm MacDonald were fearless. Okay, Phil Hartman was he had what those two didn't have in terms of just raw talent and rage. So he didn't need to take the chances that those guys took. But when you look at the shit he did on Saturday Night Live, he went from coast to coast, baby. He was just that good, but not huge risks. Pee Wee was a big risk. Norm MacDonald, Weekend Update, we're going to just fucking make OJ jokes until they fire me. And then after that just got him warmed up. That to me, that's the spice. And that's why I try to fuck around. That's why I love, by the way, thank you, Mark, for having the idea to have this podcast, because I love being able to just say whatever the hell I want to. You can certainly edit it out if it's that bad. I don't want to offend anybody, but I just like having this, what do you call it? What do you call a venue? No, it's not a venue. Corpuscle? Oh, no, sergeant. Oh, no. Were you a corpuscle or a lieutenant? I forget. Anyhow.
Even though Pee Wee was something out there, some of the jokes were...
pedestrian.
Yes.
He had dad jokes that he made funny because of his character.
And that's what I loved about him. And I think Phil Hartman was like that also.
Oh. It's interesting that those two are associated because of the Pee Wee's Playhouse. But I will say that Pee Wee Herman could read the side of he's in there with like Mike Myers, I think Dana Carvey. There's a limited amount of people that could say this, that could read the side of a fucking cereal box and make it funny.
If you watch news radio though, Phil Hartman, he was like that.
In what way? I did watch that with David Spade.
Where he would just...
and that chick with the big
He
kids.
would read the news because he was the news guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but he did it with the whole kind of broadcaster voice and that.
He could make a plane crash sound funny.
Well, he was a bit Leslie Nielsen-ish in that
Yeah.
way, would you not say?
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Some of the notable alumni from the Groundlings include, and there's about 15 names. I'm going to throw them all in here.
Do it.
Chris Kattan, known as Mango from SNL. Lisa Kudrow from Friends. Michael Hitchcock. I don't know who that is. There's two. I don't know. David Crabb. Make it 3. I don't know who David Crabb is. Jennifer Coolidge is Stifler's mom. Jim Wise. Don't know him. Lorraine Newman is one of the OG 7.
She was in the documentary.
Oh, was Lorraine Newman? Well, she was one of the original 7, not ready for primetime players on SNL. Paul Rubens, Phil Hartman, Will Ferrell, seems familiar. Sherry O'Terry, who was SNL. Do you remember her? She was like the cheerleader one with Will Ferrell. Cheryl Hines, who I believe is now Mrs. Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Also known from the Larry David Show, or excuse me, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Jeremy Rowley, I'm not familiar with his work. John Lovitz, who you kind of don't want to like, but you can't not.
God, he's so funny.
Adorable. And let me do it, John. He's adorable. And then Julia Sweeney, who was not only on SNL, also in Pulp Fiction, in the last scene in Pulp Fiction. She was the one that Winston Wolfe, I think it was Winston Wolfe's niece, when our guys John Travolta and Sam Jackson needed a ride. And Winston Wolfe's like, "Ooh, I see a cab ride in your future." And she goes, "Young lady, because you are a character does not mean you have character. Gentlemen, I wish you well." And then they got in the car and peeled off.
I don't remember that.
And then they went and I think got breakfast.
Paul Rubens, he wanted to be a dramatic actor.
Okay.
So he was acting with David Hasselhoff in a school.
Like
art
Juilliard?
school.
Was it like
No, it was something in California.
No?
Oh, Katie Seagal from...
Married with Children?
Yes.
Really? How about that?
And then he thought, you know what? I'm more wanting to make people laugh. Why don't I get into comedy? But I think that helped him.
I can't wait to see that, because that just everything you're saying about it just is, Mark, it's whetting my appetite. By the way, I think it's when you are whetting one's appetite. It's WHETTING. It's not
like Billy Idol, White Wedding.
Totally, Billie Eilish. Anyway, Mark,
do the outro.
I don't. Okay, here we go. No, Mark, I appreciate everything you do. Mark basically makes this podcast happen. Yeah, is that it? That's that spot there. Hey, quit doing Mark's leg is sticking out. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to tell you which or how many of his legs are sticking out right now. But I would be remiss after 115 episodes, over 2 years of working with this guy, that not saying thank you for delivering the concept.
We've had our ups and downs.
Yes, but we're up. This is all good, and you guys put up with a little bit of a little midlife crisis that we had, but it's good. We have a Facebook page. It's called the Ascertainers. If you really like what you heard, or excuse me, if you got this far, let's face it, go to that if you could and hit like or share or whatever. We've got a couple things we're cooking up.
I would like to post one of the songs, that one that you liked so much.
Yeah, so we kind of AI helped us write a song, but I think we should post it. So go listen to that. And if you do listen to it, nobody got paid for that, just so you know. So hit like, and that'll be like you paid us.
Send money to the Ascertainers at gmail.com.
Yeah, we have a Venmo. We accept nothing less than let's just say if you don't got a comment, don't bother. Kidding. We do not. But we do have a little bucket of money that we're trying to, the old radio game. We have a little stash of money. How's my wrap up going, by the way?
It's very
loose.
Disjointed.
It's loose, and it's what a GI doctor would say is problematic. Like, you need to bulk up that diet a little bit. So anyhow, the Ascertainers are trying really hard to entertain you, and we hope that we've put a smile on your face. And if you go to Facebook, you want to like and share, that's great. If you don't fucking care. Either way, you got this far. You can't go back. There are no exits. Good night.
Bye now.